Hi, in today's video, I'll be covering Tezos from a daily and weekly time frame. The ticker symbol is XTZ I'd like to begin with the weekly chart as I do with every time I look at a cryptocurrency. Sometimes I look at a monthly, even a quarterly, depending on the price action that I'm seeing. You'll see here one of the important things that stands out from a weekly perspective is the importance of the 2019 ascending trend line that runs through March 2020 and was supported back in December 2020. And you'll see here that we tried to hold the moving average on a closing basis, or the trend line. Last week, we finally failed with a big down week of almost 15%, really risking the situation for Tezos. But one of the things that also stands about the price structure is we have a falling wedge pattern, which indicates that there's declining momentum in the decline, and that further lows are either going to be limited or will not happen. As is the case this week, we saw a new low, but by barely 1 cent, so it was a marginal new low. Going to the daily chart, you'll see that the pattern's a little bit clearer, and really how important that resistance is. I think at this point, investors don't want to be targeting Tezos on the upside until we get a daily close above the ascending trend line and also the upper resistance line of the falling wedge. A better opportunity would be buying down near the lower support line of the falling wedge and accumulate a position. But I think at this point, considering what we're seeing in the cryptocurrency market today and the overall bullish pattern in Bitcoin, which happens to also be a falling wedge pattern, I think that we're going to see an upward resolution from here. The potential for Tezos on the upside really begins with the 50-day moving average, which comes in at 2.95. And just above that, you'll see there's a notable area of resistance that extends really back to May 20th and runs through these lows, and then the highs we saw in the beginning of July and late June. If we're able to exceed that level, there shouldn't be anything standing in the way of Tezos achieving a test of the 200-day simple moving average, which comes in at 3.99. That would actually achieve, give or take a few percent, let's say a 45% advance from the breakout of the upper resistance line of the falling wedge pattern. On the downside, there's really nothing holding it below the lower support line of the falling wedge until we get down into the December low, which comes in at 1.60. A decline beyond there would put the cryptocurrency in problems and really leave it free to go down and test the February lows of 2020, which are down at 0.98. If we did come down and we test the December low, we'd be looking at, from the breakout to the downside, we'd be looking at a decline of about 14%, give or take. So you can see at this point, the opportunity is probably tilted towards the upside, but we do need to get confirmation of a breakout above the ascending trend line and also the upper resistance line of the falling wedge. And then we can look to taking out the 50-day simple moving average and then this area of important and formidable resistance before we can easily march to the 200-day simple moving average.